our World Television Champion, Kyle Fletcher.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations. Started the pay-per-view with a great match tonight, and great to have the champion here. Any questions for Kyle?
Please.
Questions?
Where we go?
So what's it like being in Billie and defending your title?
Yeah, no, God, how many times have I been to Philly now? I want to say 3 or 4 times, and it's weirdly special to me because growing up in Australia, one of the places that I always really wanted to travel to was Philly because it had such reputable like wrestling training schools. So I think anytime I get to come here, wrestling in the ECW arena and stuff like that, it still blows my mind. So to be able to come here and open up a pay-per-view for Ring of Honor, it's, yeah, kind of blows my mind a little bit. It's cool. Cool.
Hi, Kate from Fightful. This is a question for both of you. We have Rocky Romero working in AEW now, and he has forged so many interpromotional relationships. Tony, I was wondering if there's a possibility of a New Japan Strong crossover with ROH, and Kyle, if there's anybody in New Japan Strong that you would want to get your hands back on, maybe from previous bouts or new ones.
Yeah, absolutely. We love working with New Japan Strong and Rocky. It's a very unique and excellent situation with Rocky having office in AEW and still in New Japan. He's done great things for both companies, and tonight he's in CMLL in the semi-main event. And very, very cool, all the things he's doing. We would absolutely love for more crossover with New Japan Pro Wrestling and New Japan Strong tonight. Really great, not only partnering with New Japan Pro Wrestling and working with them to make sure Suzuki was here as a surprise, but also the partnership with Stardom for the first time. A lot of great things happening, and it's great working with Rocky, and of course somebody who's had a lot of great experience in AEW and ROH and New Japan Pro Wrestling and Strong is top.
Hell yeah. Just want to take this extra quick second to say thank you, Rocky Romero, for everything you do. He is one of the reasons for so many of the interpromotional relationships between all the companies in the world. He makes so much cool stuff happen, so just shout out to him. In regards to who I'd love to face from New Japan Strong, I got to wrestle Rocky in a singles match for the first time on the Jericho Cruise, and I would love to run that back. That was cool. Other than that, there are a couple of War Dogs that I would like to get some retribution on. I watched the cage match from Will Ospreay's last match in New Japan, and I think they're a bunch of scumbags that need to get the piss beaten out of them. So I'd love to do that.
Hey Kyle, Liam Crowley with comicbooks.com. You mentioned the War Dogs. Obviously, they had the feud in New Japan with United Empire. At the end of your match, you tossed the crowns up. I would love to know the status of the United Empire and if we can expect to see you guys working together on Ring of Honor TV or AEW TV soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to United Empire, we always talk about it as it's a family because it really is. Will Ospreay has brought all these incredible like-minded individuals together, and through the tours, through all of it, we have like a really special bond. We start a group chat, we all talk crap in there all the time, it's great. I will not be revealing the contents. But yeah, no, we're brothers, and whatever promotion we show up in there, it could happen at any time. But very much still United Empire, family for life. And yeah, we'll pop up at some point, I'm sure.
Hey Kyle, it's John Pollock from Post Wrestling. Going back a couple of weeks ago on television with the match with Will Ospreay, could you just tell us a little bit about the preparation for that match, the pressure of delivering on national television, and conversely, the reception afterwards, what you feel that match has done for your career, especially for a U.S. audience?
Sure, absolutely. So as much as preparation goes, that was my first wrestling match in over a month. I had to go back to Australia. I had visa, not issues, but stuff I needed to get sorted out to get a new visa. So I came back on like 2 days notice before the pay-per-view. Just managed to get back for pay-per-view, which was awesome. And then on the pay-per-view, they announced that I'm wrestling Will Ospreay, which is possibly the biggest opportunity of my entire life, my entire career, against one of my best friends in such an awesome spot. So yeah, that pressure, especially it being my first match in over a month, was huge. But I think it's so important, I have found, to be constantly prepared for any opportunity to arise. I think if you get complacent or you're just not happy with where you are and you let your preparation, your gym, your diet slip to the wayside, those opportunities get thrust into your lap and maybe you don't deliver. So whilst I was in Australia waiting for this visa, I kept all of that up, and I keep all of that up all the time because I never know when that next opportunity is going to come knocking. So I was just happy that I was in the shape I was in to perform in that match, and in regards to what it's done for me, I think, man, Tony came up to me and said, there's a very few number of matches on American television that have had 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. Whatever you think about the rating system, I think that's, for me, a huge deal, which is really cool. But more than that, I just got to go out with one of my best friends in the whole world and do the pro wrestling that I love. And I got the opportunity to show the pro wrestling that I love on such a massive stage with one of the people that I love most in this world. So it was really cool in a lot of aspects.
Corey Lee with the Wrestling Observer. Wanted to talk a little bit about your partner, Mark Davis. Obviously, he got injured, and now you are embarking on a singles career. Talk a little bit about how your kind of mindset changed from being in a tag team to now being a singles wrestler. And obviously, hopefully, Mark is getting healthy and will be back soon. Do you want to go back to the tag team? Because obviously, now that you're the Ring of Honor Television Champion, you're getting big singles matches. Do you want to continue with Mark Davis as a tag team?
Yeah, to answer that question, absolutely. As soon as Mark Davis is ready, Aussie Open will kickstart back up. There's no doubt about that. I think when it comes to adapting between the two, between singles wrestling and tag team wrestling, it might not seem like a massive difference, and sometimes in a lot of ways it's not, but the way I like to think about it is, for me, there's a lot more pressure with singles wrestling because all of the creative ideas, for the most part, are yours. As opposed to a tag team, traveling the roads together, you're constantly bouncing ideas back and forth, and then you bounce an idea off one person and they go, oh, what if we just changed it and did it like this? And it just makes the idea better. As opposed to with singles wrestling, all the ideas are just bouncing around in your own head. Obviously, there's other people that you can bounce ideas off, but for the most part, everything that you're producing is yours. And that's a lot scarier in a lot of ways. But I love both tag team wrestling and singles wrestling for different reasons. And when Mark Davis is back, I can't wait to get the tag team back up and running, but I plan on being greatest Ring of Honor Television Champion of all time, so I will continue on my quest to do that as well.
Kyle, Righteous Rage, Graph City Podcast. You talked a little bit about your visa, not issues, but having to get it renewed. Before that happened, you were newly crowned the Ring of Honor Television Champion, and you're kind of on a trajectory in Ring of Honor. And when you came back out, things kind of changed. What kind of went on with when you were out, and how did it feel to kind of come back to not a different Ring of Honor, but a Ring of Honor with kind of a renewed energy?
Yeah, for sure. There's a little bit of like, anytime you kind of take a hiatus from any part of wrestling, there's that question in your head of like, where do I fit back in when I come back? And that was definitely the case. But again, I love Ring of Honor, I love AEW, and regardless of the situation, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do my best to do the best I can to make the product the best I can and make my performances the best they can be. So whatever is thrust into my lap, I'm just going to do the best with that. Yeah.
Hey Kyle, what's up? This is Jeff Berger from iHeartMedia and HSP Podcast. So you set the tone opening the match today, and obviously you were talking about the Ring of Honor Television Championship. What does that mean to you right now, carrying that title and being like the flag bearer for that championship right now?
Yeah, I said it when I won it. I thought it was a huge deal. I mean, you look at the lineage of this championship, and I think that speaks volumes about what it means. You look at literally the last champion, Samoa Joe, is now the AEW World Champion, the #1 wrestler in the world. So even that's massive shoes to fill. And you look back at even more of the lineage: Will Ospreay, Jeff Cobb, two of my mentors, my best friends. Yeah, it's crazy. One of my favorite wrestlers in the world, El Generico. Hope he's doing well wherever he is. But I said when I won this championship that I wanted to become the greatest Ring of Honor World Television Champion of all time. And when you have a lineage of champions like that, to be the best champion of all of them, to me that's like a huge mark of, look at the names that have held this belt, I'm better than all of them. So I think that is the biggest drive behind this championship reign, and it is an absolute honor to have my name amongst some of the greats.
Hi, Xenia from XT. I wanted to ask you about your current presentation. You've been experimenting with face paint, body paint. Is there any special meaning behind that, and how is it helping you express yourself?
Yeah, so one of the most beautiful things about professional wrestling to me is being able to follow a wrestler's journey. I don't know how long people have followed my journey, but I started wrestling in front yards in Australia when I was 12 years old. I wrestled in Australia, started training when I was 14, and I've really grown up in professional wrestling. I'm still growing up in professional wrestling. I still don't know exactly who I am as a human being, and I think that sometimes translates to pro wrestling as well. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to figure out still. And the face paint, the body paint, the gear, the hair, it's all that process of trying to find myself in the ring. And one of the things that I've found that has helped me a lot is taking inspiration from people that made me fall in love with pro wrestling. Tonight was a little bit of a homage to Jushin Liger, and he made me fall in love with Japanese wrestling. He was one of the first Japanese wrestlers I ever watched, and that led me down the path of wanting to get to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So yeah, just paying tribute to that, and in the same sense, trying to figure out who I am, and taking little bits and pieces from people that I love, and then yeah, getting to pay tribute to people like that tonight. It's really special.
Thank you very much, Cal.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Stand up.
Way to go.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it very much.
I think we're about to be joined by another champion, hopefully. Yes, we are. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Ring of Honor World Champion.
Oh, shoot. Put this bad boy right here.
First question for the new champ.
Well, first of all, congratulations, champ. Cameron Hawkins from The Ringer. You're one of the largest extended families that I've seen ringside for a match. What does that mean to you, not just having that much support, but in the wake of dealing with loss, having the people who care about you so close to what you do, being so vocal, be it a parent, being kids, being nieces and nephews, in the moment specifically, what does that mean to you being able to celebrate with them?
I mean, there are no words, I feel like I've said this more times than I can count over the last couple of weeks when people ask me about this match and just this whole situation and the circumstances and everything coming together like they did. But there are no words, man. It's like I can't even express how much it means to have such a supportive family and such, and my friends, and just it's like, and we all, you know, in the midst of tragedy, you know, we need each other. I don't think that we would be able to be functioning on the level that we are, any of us, without the whole group. So it's like, it's huge, man. It's huge. And that's, you know what I mean? That's us human beings in general. We need each other, man. We need each other. And, you know, just in this world that we live in where so much is done with a screen and a keyboard or a cell phone, and people just totally disregard the feelings and the human beings on the other end. Like, man, we need each other, man. Like, so it's a great question, man, because, yeah, 100%, dude, it means everything. It means everything.
Get over here. Nick Harvard, Body Slam. I was just wondering, similar to the last question, there's a lot of people on the roster. I was just interested in your thoughts on sharing this moment with someone like Eddie Kingston, who's, you know, a close personal friend of yours.
Hey, like, it couldn't be just of the multiple different circumstances that made tonight so special for me. For one, the date, 11 years to the day that my brother won his first Ring of Honor title. You know what I mean? Number two, the location. Here we are in Philly, where we cut our teeth here in the wrestling business. And number three, my opponent, Eddie Kingston. I mean, known each other for going on 2 decades now, and you know, it's never been any bad blood, anything but good vibes. But they don't, just because it's good vibes, that don't mean that, you know, you ain't gonna beat the piss out of each other. So I couldn't have asked for a better opponent. You know, it's just unreal how everything panned out and played out. I think my brother Tony here, that, I mean, for making it happen, you don't know how much I appreciate you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you, and you know, I think it's very important to acknowledge one of the greatest legends of all time, Mark Briscoe is now the Ring of Honor World Champion. Also to acknowledge Eddie Kingston, who had an amazing run as a Ring of Honor World Champion. Of course, he had a great match for the title 1 year ago at Supercard, and a great match again, winning the title at Grand Slam in New York, and then doing something really special to Eddie, I know, and for AEW and for Ring of Honor, building the Continental Crown. And Eddie held 3 titles, of course. Now he is still the New Japan Strong champion. He's still, but in addition to holding the New Japan Strong title, he did something really important here tonight. And as the Ring of Honor World Champion, I think he really was a great champion for ROH and for AEW. And also, he's been a great friend to Mark Briscoe. And I know this was really important to Eddie and to Mark. And I spoke earlier on the all media call yesterday about some of this and how it came together, and it made a lot of sense, especially when you look at the date, 11 years, and very significant for Jay Briscoe 11 years ago today to win his first ever Ring of Honor World Championship, and now Mark Briscoe 11 years later to win the Ring of Honor World Championship. They're Ring of Honor Hall of Famers, ROH's greatest tag team ever. They may be the greatest tag team of all time. For me, it's been 2 years with ROH and also 2 years working with Mark Briscoe, and it's been a real pleasure, sir. Thank you. You're the man.
Right here.
Hey Mark, Liam Crowley, comicbook.com. There's so much love for the Briscoes across the wrestling world. You guys have had close friends everywhere you've gone. 2 of those guys being Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I know it's very early after you just won the championship, but I was wondering if you heard from guys like Kevin and Sami and any of your other friends from across the wrestling world going into this match. What kind of support they showed you?
I haven't even made it to the phone yet. I went from the ring to the doctor, and then from the doctor to here. But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. When I get down there, I'll probably have quite a few text messages and congratulatory. But yeah, man, those guys are absolutely amazing. we back in 2007 we had one of the most special programs, feuds, rivalries of my whole career, me and my brother's whole career with El Generico and Kevin Steen, you know, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and so yeah, love them guys, and you know, wish them all the best in absolutely everything. But yeah, like I said, I ain't made it to the phone yet, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Over here.
Hi, Brian Briga from iHeart HSP podcast. Congratulations, Mark. Amazing victory. And it's been an emotional couple days for you. I'm not trying to add to the emotion now that you're dealing with it here right now, but after the win, you've said it's 11 years to the day where your brother Jay won his first Ring of Honor World Championship. He was there for you in spirit, obviously, tonight, but if there was a message you would give to your brother right now, what would it be?
I love you, though. You know, I love you, though. It's there's no words, man. It's like, to me, it's just too many coincidences for it to be a coincidence. I mean, you know, you know, I wear my faith on my sleeve, and you know, it's like God is good, man. And it's stuff like this where the tragedy that happened, it's like you don't want to go on, you don't want to get out of bed. And then nights like tonight, it says, man, it says, this is what gives me comfort. This is what helps me move on. You know? And it's not easy. It's not easy. But nights like tonight make it a whole hell of a lot easier. You know? It's I don't want to sound like a broken record, man, but there are no words, brother. There are no words, but you know, I just tell him, man, like, I love you, though. Like, help me out, man. Be with me. Back before, you know, before he moved on, before he moved up, before we went out for a match. And, you know, sometimes there's them nerves and them jitters. Say, shit, dog, all we got to do is go out there, walk out there, let them balls swing. And so, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to, until we meet again, just trying to do it proud, man.
More questions? One back here.
Congratulations, Mark. Phil from Bleacher Report. How much did it add to this moment of breaking the old theme back tonight, and how did that come together?
Oh my goodness, hey. And that was the first day with the reach for the sky, boy. And then that give me back my boys. I was like, all right, hold them tears back. Hold it, come on, hold it together. But how did it come together? My good friend Tony Khan, hey, it was you know, it was something that he was like, man, it was like, give me back my bullets. How about it? I said, let's go, baby, let's go. But yeah, so that was amazing. That just changed the whole vibe, man. That was great.
It was a good investment.
Two more.
How you doing? Jay O'Sigara from Russell Bars and Def Jam Recordings. You had a chance to actually sync the Leonard Skinner record tonight, which was amazing. Could you just kind of like give us the reasoning why you chose to use that song?
Well, I mean that was our theme music back before we weren't allowed to use regular songs as themed. You know what I mean? It was from I guess back when Gabe loved Gabe supposedly to death. Back when he was booking Ring of Honor, he said, hey, I think y'all should come out to this Leonard Skinner song. And I had heard the song before, but I never think, oh, that'd be cool interest music. But then Gabe was like, yo, I think y'all should come out to this Leonard Skinner song. And it was like, okay, let's do it. And it's still, I was kind of like, okay, you know. But then the first time we actually came out to it was like, oh, yeah, that's that feeling there, baby. And so, yeah, man, so that was just a good old throwback. The early days of Ring of Honor, the early days of the Briscoes, and it felt real good.
Final question right here, Mark.
Hey, Mark, Jose Gonzalez, BW Media here. Congratulations on this wonderful win, especially since Ring of Honor has come back under Tony Khan's era in 2022. You've been a mainstay of the brand even well into its 20-year history. What are some of the things that you're hoping to do with this reign and to continue to elevate the brand of Ring of Honor?
Rock and roll, baby. That's the plan. Rock and roll. Hey, it ain't no stopping. Shoot. I'm still a young man, brother. I'm still a young man. Don't let the grades fool you. That ain't age, that's stress. I got kid number 8 on the way. But yeah, man, shoot, just hey, Ring of Honor, like, and I said this in the interview podcast the other day. The Ring of Honor World Title is underrated. It's one of the greatest titles in the sport. It's the history of the Ring of Honor World Title. You know, for anybody who's just recently got into Ring of Honor, look it up. Look up the history, the people who have held this title. And, you know, since 2002, this is one of the most important titles in professional wrestling. This is one of the most prestigious titles in professional wrestling. And it's an absolute honor to hold this title, to carry this title. You know, for those of you who don't know, up until now, I won one singles title, and I've had a whole bunch of chances. I've had a whole bunch of tries. I've just been sadly unsuccessful for many, many attempts. But you know, this is, you know, I'm almost like it's not even really clicked in as reality yet. I'm the Ring of Honor World Champion. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like with all the greats, you know. The people who have held this title in the history and the storied past of the Ring of Honor World Title. So my game plan is to not let down the legacy of the title. My game plan is, like I said, to rock and roll. I mean, anybody want it? Come on, baby. Hey, come get it. You know what I mean? I ain't shying away from anybody. I'm ready to go. Right now, if you want it, hey, we can do it right now. But it's an absolute honor, and I'm going to try my damnedest with every cell in my body to represent the Ring of Honor World Title like it truly deserves to be represented.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Yep.
Yeah, boys.
I had to like a senior citizen penguin.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion, Billie Starkz.
Howdy, y'all.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I probably should set this up here. I'm not used to having a title yet. Oh, they got a spot for it. This is nice. How are we doing, 2K?
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm very happy to be champion. I made my boss proud tonight. Not you.
Oh, the other boss. Very, very good. Well, you made me proud as well, and clearly you've learned a lot from your other boss.
Oh, yeah. I won this title because of Athena. Everything I learned from Athena. This is why I have the ROH title. I figured it out finally. I'm going to be the #1 minion of MIT this year. I swear by this.
Questions for the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion?
We'll start right here.
Hi, Billie. Kimmy Sokol from the Pop Break. Congratulations. Now, let's talk about the ending of that matchup. It seemed as if you had a plan, and it worked. Was it Athena inspired?
I would definitely say this was Athena inspired. But to be honest, it wasn't a plan. I truly just got desperate, and I did what I know best to do. MIT. I've been in training for so long now, and I think it just finally clicked in my brain. I was like, oh, this is what Athena wants. This is all I need to do. And I'm here now. I'm happy. I think this is all I needed for so long. I just need to listen to Athena more.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable how far you've come and under Athena's tutelage and how much you've changed, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Right here.
Nick Hart from Body Slam. We saw you pull double duty today, starting in the morning off with the GWW show, where you also got a victory, 2 victories in a day. Now that you're a champion here, can we expect to see less of those indie bookings and the other show bookings, or is it not going to slow down?
I am a monster. I love chaos, and I don't ever want to stop wrestling. I make jokes about this every single day, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. I don't care. I want to wrestle until the day I die. I just want to be in a ring because it's where I'm happy, and luckily Tony is very generous and will still let me go out and have fun with the rest of the world. I love that I got to wrestle with the TJPW girls this weekend. They're phenomenal and coming all the way from Japan. They've killed it this weekend. If you haven't checked them out, please check them out.
It's great. Fantastic. And you're a great representative of AEW and Ring of Honor, and now a great champion, and what a great
I'll be
inaugural.
defending this the rest of the weekend, I swear.
Look out.
Brian Rhodes, Good Karma Wrestling. How has this Ring of Honor run changed your career?
Honestly, I've learned so much being here at Ring of Honor, and having the freedom to be me is like one of the values of being at AEW. I truly have gotten to expand more of like who I wanted to be as a wrestler, and I have such a good production behind me that, hey, I want to do clown paint. Yes, ma'am, you can do clown paint. You want to do this? Yes, ma'am, you can do this. So having the freedom to just be creative and doing all of that, ROH has made me grow as a wrestler so much more. And even once in a while, the boss will tell me no because I have a crazy brain. And at the end of the day, being told no is not a bad thing. You learn more from being told no than yes, 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 yes.
Hi, question to Tony. You mentioned about the partnership with Stardom. Can you talk about more detail about how the partnership started?
Yes.
And also, what's the relationship with Tokyo Joshi right now?
Well, they're both great relationships. We've worked with both promotions, and I have a lot of respect for the management of Tokyo Joshi Pro, and I have so much respect for Bushiroad and the management of Stardom. Working with them more lately, it's really gotten a much stronger relationship. You know, it's great now to be able to do something like we did on tonight's show, to use wrestlers from Stardom, have a great trios match, but also go back to the history of Stardom, have Mariah May involved with Club Venus, and being able to work with Tokyo Joshi Pro and Stardom and all great companies around the world. It's a great opportunity for us. Definitely, we've had a great relationship with Tokyo Joshi Pro, and recently now, the relationship with Stardom, it's really increased from where it was, and I love working with other companies. The Forbidden Door is always open, and now with a great champion like Big Billie Starkz here, I think we could really have something very cool where we have champions that could go defend the championship all over against top wrestlers, and we bring the top wrestlers here to ROH, top wrestlers into AEW. That's really what it's all about. And it was great to have so much great wrestling, women and men tonight on the show, and there was definitely a lot of great women's wrestling and great women's champions and stars, including the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion, Billie Starkz. Thank you.
I was watching that 6-man. I'm very interested in all of them. If you want a shot, come on.
That's great.
Hey, this is Corey from WHOI. I think we spoke yesterday. We were literally running to another show here in the Philly area. Of course, winning the inaugural title tonight here to big arena here on Broad Street. What does the city mean to you now, knowing that this is putting you on the path towards the legendary career you aspire to have?
Philly's always been a special place to me, if I'm being honest. Like, I got to do a lot of stuff in Philly growing up in my career before I even got here with AEW. Winning this title tonight in Philly, I had so much support in the crowd, and as much as I value the fans, at the end of the day, all I care about is winning now. I understand what my goal needs to be. It's not about pleasing the crowd anymore. I'm sorry, Tony. I don't care if they care. But this is what matters. I need to stay champion, and MIT is supposed to run this whole company. ROH is our company now, Tony.
It's very impressive what you've done.
Yeah!
Hey!
You got
You've been joined by the champion.
You're so cute. You matched me.
Get you one of the ones I didn't lick.
Oh,
maybe
lick
not
them?
that one. Maybe no, that one.
I can
want
have
you.
this one? Oh.
Yep. Dig in, Billie. Oh, there
I'm
she is.
a happy camper now. This is a cookie dough cupcake?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
oh my
Thank you.
God.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Look, Lexy, you're sitting next to me. This is my best.
Congratulations.
boss?
Congratulations. We've got the whole MIT. We've got the world champion. What a great package this is. Congratulations, champ.
Of course.
Thank you.
How you feeling, boss?
I won. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter that
I learned.
won.
I got you.
won. I won like you won. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
We're
what we do.
winners.
Ain't
All
never lost.
winners, Lexy.
I want a handshake.
After you just slipped your hand after
Oh,
that.
man. I'll shake it.
Oh. Sanitizer, child.
All right, we'll keep the questions going.
I have two questions. First is actually for Tony, because this is something totally separate that just happened about 2 minutes ago. Bryan Danielson and Blue Panther. Danielson did win the match, and he mentioned that he wants to do the match in the United States as a rematch with Blue Panther. Are you interested in doing that?
I would be interested in that, and then I think I'll be free to talk at length about the non-goings on of the champ, Corey. So you'll get me after this, but I think first and foremost right now, let's address the 800-pound elephant in the room. We've got two great champions here. We've got a great stable, and I'd say we give them the spotlight right now.
Absolutely. All right, the second thing is, and this is actually a little personal, that I met Billie about 2.5 years ago, and I was told by a wrestler I'm very friendly with that you were going to be a superstar. You were 16 when this happened. And I met you, and I saw you, and I was like, yeah, that's about right. Talk a little bit about your journey now, obviously from that portion of when we first met to then, obviously now where you're a champion with a major company on TV. Obviously, you've, like I said, from where that was to now where you are right now. Just kind of reflect a little bit about your journey in regards to that.
Honestly, I've been grinding since I was 13 years old when I started. And when I was in high school, I still was doing 3 to 4 matches a weekend while keeping a 4.0 GPA. And I left my senior year to go to Japan, and I had a blast. I went when I was 17 and got to meet all the phenomenal talent at TJPW. They took phenomenal care of me. And then I came back to America and was finishing up high school, graduating, and getting offers from the big man over here to sign up for the club. But honestly, this has changed my life for the better. This is genuinely my dream and everything that I've truly wanted since I started pro wrestling. I have always said, I just want to have my farm and cows, and I can have that in a couple more years. So I am genuinely happy. I live the life I've always wanted, and this is my dream. And now I get to say I get to be a belt collector on the way.
Congratulations, champs.
Thank you. I love being called champ. It's a good feeling. Sorry, I'm all one.
Hi, Alex Lajos here, Queen of the Ring and Church of Joshi. Athena, I wanted to ask you, facing off Hikaru Shida from Shimmer, coming over here, finally beating her. What was your mindset going through that match, and how do you continue, what is the plan to continue to conquer the Ring of Honor women's division?
Great question. Sheeta is someone I wrestled before. We had a killer match, I think, over 10 years ago. I don't really want to age myself because I'm 22 at heart. But going into that match, I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Sheeta is a multi-time champion, not just in AEW, but around the world, and she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. So going into that match, I didn't really know. I think for the first time in a while, I've gotten taken down a peg with my confidence, but coming out of that match, holding my championship up high, showing the world that I am the most dominant champion in pro wrestling history, male or female. I am here to show the world that I am the absolute best, because for so long, I've been waiting for a moment like this, waiting to show the world what I can do, waiting to show the world the violences that I have always been capable of. And I don't care who I have to stomp on, I don't care who I have to kick in the face. I am going to show the world that I am the forever ROH champion, and no one is going to take that away from me.
Okay, we're over here.
Yeah,
this question for Athena, Nick Hart from Body Slam. With the relationship with Stardom opening up, people joke since like the beginning of your title run that Shuri was ducking you. Do you think that those matches are now more obtainable and everything, like actual dream matches with Shuri or Mayu? I just wanted your thoughts on that in the opening relationship.
Absolutely. I think with that relationship building, like, those women killed it today. Like, it was such a pleasure to be able to watch it. I was in the middle of being spray painted. But like it was an absolute delight, and I said it on social media when the match got announced, like, you guys have no clue what these women are capable of. Like, personally, I've always been a really big fan of Stardom and their high-speed championship. I followed that for a while. If I had my choice of opponent out of the women that wrestled tonight, AZM, who always like just put a smirk on the side of my face, like, yeah, that'd be something special. But like, I would love to go to Japan. Like, I've never gotten that opportunity before. I would love to go defend the ROH Championship there, and just like really spread the word about ROH and showing how powerful women's wrestling can be. I think tonight was a testament to that, from Billie and Aminata to the Stardom match to Mariah May and Momo. Like, we showed the world that like we are here as wrestlers to perform and show that we can deliver every single step of the way. And I think that's the real goal that I think all of us at NYT are trying to get across.
Hi, Cameron Hawkins from The Ringer. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Athena, you were probably really first introduced to American audiences through NXT. Fantastic matches, great run. Something I've lost in translation on the main roster, but now you're back in these conversations as far as best wrestler in the world, man, woman, animal, mineral, vegetable, whatever. What do you feel like has really been communicated or put to the forefront to where you're back in that conversation? What's being communicated or given to the audience to where you're back probably where you should be as far as recognition and status?
Selfishly, I want to say me, myself, and I, but...
I think that's a good answer. I like that answer.
I know you do, Mindy. Calm down.
I'm sorry.
Mama's talking right now.
Okay.
But honestly, without Tony and the platform and the trust to be able to do what I do with no handcuffs on, like me just being me, like him trusting me, us working together like as a unit with Lexy, like this has really set everything over the edge. And I still feel like I haven't quite got to my limit yet. I don't see that in my horizon because I'm always thinking of something new. Like even like Lexy, like our contract signing girl, you did so good. You did so good with that contract signing girl. You know, Lexy being our glue of the group and just us consistently coming up with more and more and more. There's so much more that we want to give. And I think just the main thing is that I'm not content. And it was told to me, like, when you're content, it's time to quit. And like week after week after week, you know, I come in and I always have something new. I have some bright idea, and like Tony looks at me crazy sometimes, like, what? Okay, you know, but like we always get the job done and we always deliver. So I think a lot of the reason why I'm in the position is the trust that Tony has put in all of us. Tony has put in our women's division, and we're just going to keep moving forward with that.
We're going to do two more. Let's go.
going on, ladies? J.O. Cigar from Russell Bars and Def Jam Recordings again. Just curious, what are you ladies listening to that kind of gives you some enthusiasm and encouragement and pushing forward as you kind of like, whether you're in the gym, whether you're on the airplane? Just kind of curious
What's our playlist?
What's your playlist? Because I'm about to shock everyone in this room.
Oh, wait. I'm a big Blink 182 fan, Tony. Big Blink 182 fan. That is probably one of my biggest hype songs. I love good old Aliens Exist. That's my stuff. But I also love Kendrick Lamar. Good Kendrick Lamar in the gym, I'll get fired up.
Yeah.
What you got?
Lexy, what you got, baby?
Oh, you're here. Yeah, I don't. Okay,
Bestie.
I like a little bit of everything, but to hype me up, Bad Girl Riri, Rihanna. I mean, you can't never go wrong with that.
Rockstar 101.
I'm waiting for her next album. Rihanna, I'm calling you out. Please release it. I'm desperate. But yeah, I'll literally listen to anything. So Rihanna's my go-to.
So when I work out in the gym, it is a combination of rock music, Phantom of the Opera, and before every day when I come into work, I listen to Be Prepared from Jeremy Irons, Lion King, and my ultimate jam is Midnight Train to Georgia from Gladys Knight.
The reaction from all of you is great.
Hey, it's a good song, Billie.
You can't make that up. She'll be in the locker room playing Power Balance, and everyone's like, Athena, turn it off! For the love of God!
It's my locker room. It's my locker room. It's
Maybe
fine.
you
It's
are
fine.
wrong.
Everyone likes a little Gladys.
We don't get a choice about Gladys.
You don't. You don't.
Okay, last one right here.
Athena, what does it mean to see Mark Briscoe as a Ring of Honor World Champion now?
It's pretty awesome. I think I've told this story before. When I first got to Ring of Honor way back in the day, I was very nervous. I was very shy. I was very introverted, and I was the new girl who just didn't want to step on any toes. And I was so afraid to introduce myself to anyone. And the very first people that walked up to me, and it was the weirdest conversation. They walked up to me and they go, "Hey, we're the Briscoes. We're chicken farmers." And I'm like, yeah. Okay, I wait tables. And you know, just they were so warm and so welcoming. We had like a conversation. They're like, if you need anything, you know, let us know. And I just remember like years on years, and even when I left WWE and I came to AEW, they were some of the first people to like just be like, oh my God, do you remember us? And I was like, you're the chicken farmers, you know? And it's just so cool to just see Mark on top of everything. You know, it's really cool, and I feel like I have a very personal like happiness on such a deep level. Like I love when good things happen to good people. I love to kick people in the face. So it just goes hand in hand with my happiness, and I couldn't be more ecstatic for what Mark is going to bring to the table. Maybe we'll give him an MIT application.
Yes!
That's really good.
That'll work.
I feel like we need more minions now. I feel like I need to be like mean. I want to bully people.
Take that, people, girl.
I'm sorry.
We don't give that information out for free, okay? So if you want to join MIT, we'll put an application out. We'll review it in maybe 6 to 8 months.
We'll hit you back.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't share our secrets, girl. Okay.
I'm 5508.
Yes. 5508.
Right here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's minion.
Minion.
Ladies, thank you very much.
Thank
you
guys
for having us.
It's fine.
Bye, big boss man.
Hey. 5508. Billie.
I don't remember numbers.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, before we start with Tony, you want to answer Corey's question?
Yeah, thanks, Corey. Thanks, Adam, for that. Yes, thanks, Corey. It's a great question. Very excited. I would love to have Blue Panther here in America. I would love to see Bryan Danielson versus Blue Panther here. I'm a big fan of Blue Panther. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of Bryan Danielson, and I think that would be great. I grew up as a big fan of CMLL. Unfortunately, with my work schedule, I wasn't able to make it to Action Dean last night, but I grew up coming out in college. And as I was finishing up high school, really got into CMLL. I read a lot of the Cubs Fan, the Lucha blog, and also the Death Valley Driver, and talked a lot about CMLL on there. I've been able to utilize aspects of that presentation, and working with them is a dream come true. I can't wait to go home and watch Bryan versus Blue Panther. I haven't had a chance to see it yet because we've been very busy tonight, had a lot going on, but very, very happy about that, and we'll gladly do that anytime. Thank you, Corey.
Okay, questions for Tony? We'll start on this side.
Hey, Tony. I just had a question about when it comes to start a relationship. Are you able to give any insight about the relationship with Rossi beforehand, going into now? Was there any like specific thing that happened, or was it more of like a lack of communication from that side? Just any kind of insight you can give to that.
It's a very fair question. It's more than fair. I understand I probably fed into the speculation. I do think it's a much better relationship with the current management now, and I want to praise the current management. And it's been so great working with them. Taro Okada, it's just awesome. And President Okada and Stardom have been very kind to us, and it's a great relationship. You know, you look back, it was a year ago when I was working to bring Mariah May in, and I think today would be a totally different process if I wanted to reach out to them about working with the talent. Now it's great to have the kind of relationship with Stardom where Mariah is an AEW wrestler, but we can come here to an ROH event or an AEW event, bring the Stardom wrestlers in, and acknowledge the history, because it's an important part of Mariah's journey. Before she came here and showed up on AEW television as the biggest Tony Storm fan, you saw that she was a great wrestler in Stardom. We acknowledge the history of Club Venus. Very interesting to see her and Mina together. We've of course seen Mina in ROH before. She was in Boston, had a fantastic match with Anna Jay. We'd love to see the Stardom wrestlers back here. It's a great relationship now. So glass half full, I think things are really good with Stardom now, and I wish we could have started doing that sooner. Certainly, I've been a very willing participant this whole time, and we've done some things. There's been wrestler from AEW, Megan Bain, who had a great run in Stardom. I thought it was a great excursion, but there's probably not been as much communication as I would have liked, and I'd say there's been more communication just in a couple weeks than there had been in several years. And it speaks to the great management at Stardom now, and Bushiroad, and our great friends at New Japan, and Rocky Romero, and the great Stardom office they have now. Thanks. Thank you.
Hey Tony, Jose Gonzalez, PW Mania here. Noticing a lot of synergy between AEW and ROH with the championships on both rosters, most recently the Women's World Television Championship for Ring of Honor and the TBS Championship. Would there ever be plans for a show where we would see those AEW Ring of Honor champions go face to face to see which roster might reign supreme?
It would be interesting. I mean, we've had a lot of interpromotional matches, more AEW ROH content. It would be great. There have been times where top AEW and Ring of Honor champs have gone at it. Of course, we did have that Continental Crown, that alignment of championships. I think it's worked out really well, and I am very, very happy that we were able to have Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe tonight. I think all three titles Eddie Kingston held. He was a great champion, and now he's still a great champion for New Japan, but he did great things for Ring of Honor since he won the title at Grand Slam, and that's a great example of seeing some top AEW and Ring of Honor wrestlers in the same place. So you never know, but definitely tonight was a great night for ROH, one of the marquee events. It was 2 years for me officially since I took the keys, and I'm very proud of what we've been able to do. And I thought the highlights and the people that were up here on the stage, great examples of the very best of what we've been able to do since I acquired ROH and working with the AEW and ROH together. And a great example, 2 years ago today, we saw Samoa Joe arrive into this galaxy, and he's gone on to become the AEW World Champion. And like Kyle said, Kyle holds the Ring of Honor World TV Champion, previous title holder and the longest reigning and greatest champion ever with that title, arguably, I think, is Samoa Joe. And now Samoa Joe, like Kyle said, he's the AEW World Champion. He's the #1 wrestler in the world going into Dynasty, and he's the top man in the business. And I think it speaks to what we've been able to do, and certainly that started 2 years ago right here at Supercard of Honor. Thank you.
Over here, Tony.
Hey Tony, it's Brian, Jeff Burger from HSP Podcast and iHeartRadio. So, believe it or not, it's already April, and we're well past the quarter of the year. What stood out for you for AEW and Ring of Honor in the first 4 months? And what do you really stood out to you? in those 4 months? I know it's a lot probably, but just if you maybe 1 or 2 things that stood out the most as you were past a quarter of the year.
I think I would point to the pay-per-view events each company has had to start the year. Supercard of Honor, great event tonight with some great highlights, including the people who are up here on the stage and many other great moments. It was a great Women's World Championship match with Athena versus Hikaru Shida. Great to crown an inaugural Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion in Billie Starkz. Great match with Queen Aminata, and also after a long story that's been developing on television, certainly it took a major turn in the development of young Billie Starkz and her relationship, the mentorship from Athena, and that was, I think, the furthest we've ever seen Athena have to dig into her own personal bag of tricks as well tonight, and also we've never seen Athena probably this shaken up. We've never seen her this stressed out, this nervous about a match before, and I think even Billie and Lexy were very surprised to see that. They've come together as a great package, and it was a great turn in the story, and now they're both great world champions. So that was great. I think having Mark Briscoe win the Ring of Honor world title, come out to Leonard Skinner, pay tribute with his family and friends in the ring, that's one of the most special moments to me. That would be up there. And then AEW Revolution, it's one of my favorite nights of my life. Certainly, I put it as my favorite night in the business. You know, we're coming up on the 5-year anniversary of AEW. It was at Double or Nothing 2019 at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Next month, we're going back to the MGM Grand Garden Arena 5 years after it began. It'll be very special. And it's great to look back. Of the 5 years, we had 3 years with Sting wrestling. Sting went undefeated from Revolution 21 to Revolution 24. What a great way to end what will be remembered. I truly believe is one of the great runs and one of the great 3-year runs. What a great final act. I am so proud of what we did at Revolution. So many great matches, so many great things on the show. You had great matches. Start to finish, so many great things like Ospreay versus Takeshita and the BCC versus FTR, and great matches top to bottom. And for me, the most memorable thing by far, and the thing I'll take away the rest of my life, was what we were able to do for Sting's retirement match with Sting and Darby versus the Young Bucks. It was a highlight of my life, and I grew up watching Sting, and it was really special to be able to give Sting the platform to have, I think, the greatest retirement match ever and the greatest final act to a career. So for AEW and Ring of Honor, I think those are some of the highlights, including what we did at Revolution for Sting and what we did here at Supercard of Honor, including great moments, bringing Stardom in to work with us, highlight and really take that relationship to the next level, and also have great champions like Athena, Billie Starkz, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe, and many other great wrestlers we saw tonight. It was a great night, so I think really Supercard of Honor tonight and Revolution have been real beacons so far in the first portion of 2024, and there's a lot of great things to look forward to still to come in 2024. I promise it's going to be a really great year for AEW and ROH, and I really appreciate you asking. Thank you. Thanks.
Right here. Hey Tony, Liam Crowley, comicbooks.com. We're here at WrestleMania week, and Supercard of Honor has been such a staple of this entire week for decades, and it arguably kick-started the idea of having promotions flock to the WrestleMania host city to host their events. You got All In London coming up in August. We saw last year Rev Pro kind of built one of their biggest events around the fact that All In London was going down. Obviously you can't control what promotions book shows around All In London, but have you thought about, encouraging those local promotions to have shows around that time? And also the one that you can't control, Ring of Honor. Are there thoughts about doing a Ring of Honor show when you take over Wembley this August?
Well, I am not planning to do Ring of Honor as of now this August, but I do think it's great to support other promotions. I've loved working in particular with Rev Pro in England. I have a lot of respect for Andy. It was great to be there in person for Will Ospreay's final match in Rev Pro at High Stakes 2024. I had been there 5 years earlier, and it was the first time I met Will Ospreay. It was 5 years earlier at High Stakes, and he wrestled Pac, and I was there to see Pac and a handful of other great AEW wrestlers that wrestled on High Stakes 5 years ago, and it was great to see Andy 5 years later and how far he's taken Rev Pro, and great to be there for a special moment with Will Ospreay, get to meet Will Ospreay's family, and I have a ton of respect for what Andy's built there, so that's tremendous. As for doing this show here on this weekend, certainly Righteous Reg back there had good influence. I was in this Scrum 2 years ago, my first ever ROH Scrum after I took over at Supercard, and I pointed out I had inherited this show. This wasn't my idea to do this, and I said, you know, maybe in the future you could see Supercard different places. And Righteous Reg pointed out, you know, it's different from AEW. It's not AEW, and he's sitting back there and smiling. And it was a great point in the Scrum. So we're on the 2-year anniversary of that, and it made me look at it differently, honestly. And then I said, you know what, maybe that is a good point. And then we did it, of course, after doing ROH in Dallas. I did it in Los Angeles, did it in Philadelphia. I'm going to get the hell out of here when this is over, but I really appreciate you all being here and doing this with us, and credit to Righteous Reg for making me look at it in a different perspective 2 years ago today in the same Scrum. Thanks, great question. Thank you.
Right here, Tony. Hey, Tony, it's John Pollock from Post Wrestling. Earlier this week, you talked about some of the cuts, and today the Tate twins put out their rebuttal about some communication error when it came to the show that they missed. I don't know if you had a chance to see, but they are citing that there was a miscommunication where they were awaiting confirmation on their travel for Ottawa, and that was the reason they did not make it to that show in Ottawa.
I have not seen their exact statement. After the show, I heard a little bit of this as I was coming back. I stand by what I said, and also I've only owned ROH for 2 years. There's a long history of ROH, and it was my call to bring them back. I liked their presentation with Dalton, and I like them both personally. I've had a lot of good experiences with them, and you know, I would be open to working with them again in the future, but there have been times where they came and have done great things for us. We did the House Rules tour, and they were drive-in tour in the South, and I love having them. And they've been to a lot of the Saturdays, but there have been some times for my era of ROH, and I've been told from the company I inherited other times in the past, and I'm just going off my experiences. As for that, I did talk about that and confirm. I think there's two sides to that story, but I appreciate you asking about it. I know yesterday they said stay tuned, so I stayed tuned, and then I heard, and I'm not moved. But thank you.
Hi Tony, Kimmy Sokol from the Pop Break. Great show tonight, but the one thing that I've noticed about when you book Ring of Honor shows is you usually announce the card like the week of. Is there kind of a reason that you do that?
Well, I mean, to be honest, there's pieces I put in the week, I think, but I don't know if that's exactly right. I think a lot of things have come in advance, and certainly we knew Athena and, of course, Sheeta. For weeks we've been building the story, I think, with Athena, that she's really shaken up by Sheeta and concerned, and that's been an interesting build. And then the Ring of Honor Women's World Title Tournament, that's played out. We've known now for a few weeks this is going to be the final. We had taped the semifinal matches a few weeks back, so that there's been a good anticipation of that. This case, there's been a few times involving Mark Briscoe where I've had to change the match, and it's funny. I don't know why. It's always with Mark, but I was thinking about doing something different at Final Battle 22, and I didn't know it was going to be the last time I was going to see Jamie. And I had something different called, but I think I would rather do it right than have it locked in early, and if I think I have something better, I would change it. So in the weeks going into Final Battle 22, I decided to go with FTR and the Briscoes dog collar match, the double dog collar match that we saw in Dallas. It was the Briscoes' final match in ROH, their penultimate wrestling match as a tag team, and it was one of the greatest things ever in wrestling, and it was also a great thing. I'm really proud that I changed it, because it would have been great. The other thing I was going to do, that would have been awesome too, but I think it was the right thing to change and turned into the greatest trilogy. I would have done something different, and I think this was the right call to do the double dog collar match at Final Battle 22. And then last year we weren't able to do Claudio and Mark when Mark got hurt, and so ended up Pac came in, and it was a great substitution, and it made sense in the flow of what we've been doing. There was a blood and guts match, and Pac was a logical person to come in. So there's been changes, but we do add some stuff on the 0 hour and some things in the opening of the card. But I think a lot of the core stuff was in well in advance. And honestly, I thought the TV did a great job building up some of the matches. Like, I was really looking forward to Athena and Cheetah. I think we've been able to do a really good job building that up. And the tournament final with Queen Aminata and Billie, which I think has also had a lot of really good build behind it. And like I said, in the all media call, we changed Mark and Eddie. I was going to do something different with both of them, and Eddie came in, and I had thought about the 11-year anniversary. It was a great point. It made me rethink things. So that was another time with Mark where, it was a good audible, a good change, and it worked out for the best. So I was glad Eddie came into a production meeting with 17 people, interrupted it, and came in like a bat out of hell, like only Eddie Kingston can, and then pointed out, "Do you know that Supercard is 11 years to the day?" And I said, "No, I did not know that." And let me pause this production meeting and have everybody stand here while we talk. and we did, and we had a side conversation, and everybody just sat there and listened to me and Eddie talk. And it was a good point he made, and I appreciated it. And there's sometimes the stars align. I hadn't thought about it, the 11-year anniversary. It was worth changing what we were going to do, so that came in as we went, but I would rather change it and have a moment like we did tonight, because I think, again, like I said about the double dog collar match at Final Battle 22, now tonight at Supercard 24, the other thing I was going to do, the other two things I was going to do, they would have been great too, but no, it was a good change. I'm happy with it. Thank you.
Over your time.
Yes, two-part question. Have you considered taking the ROH or AEW to Japan? And also, what it would take to have the Forbidden Door in Japan?
It's a great question. I think we've built a great thing here in North America with Forbidden Door. Of course, the first Forbidden Door in Chicago, last year in Toronto. We're going to be here on this continent again this year for Forbidden Door, but I think there's great partnerships and opportunities to work together with AEW and New Japan, sending top stars over for these great events. And we have something really special. It's become a great partnership. This year at Wrestle Kingdom, you saw a great AEW representation with top stars like Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and many others. And we've seen that consistently. And I think we'll continue to see that. And I'd love to send wrestlers over. I think Forbidden Door specifically is a great brand here, and we can build something special there. I love that it's their territory, and so as for running AEW shows there, I don't want to infringe on anybody's territory or invade. I'm not trying to take over Japan. I think that's part of why it's a good partnership. But it would be fun to do something over there sometime, and it's something we've talked about. I do like keeping the Forbidden Door brand as a special thing we do annually here as a live pay-per-view, and I think that the window we have is really nice, and it's been a great event for us. It was the biggest debut at the time. When we had the first Forbidden Door, it was our biggest debut of any of our pay-per-views, and this past year it grew even more. And it was also our biggest live gate in North America last year. It was, I think, our second biggest gate behind only Wembley Stadium all year. And the partnership only continues to get stronger and stronger, and because of the relationship that AEW and ROH have with New Japan Pro Wrestling, we've been able to grow and build new bridges with CMLL and Starkz. So it's a very exciting time in the world of wrestling, and I'm really excited for Forbidden Door 2024. And more great things with AEW and Bushiroad, and AEW and Ring of Honor working with New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom and CMLL. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do a few more.
Hey, this is Corey from WHIY. Of course, we know the history of Ring of Honor. It started here in 2002 here in Philadelphia. This show is essentially a homecoming show for the organization. I was wondering, what was it like seeing the turnout for tonight's show in the midst of every other show going on? I mean, Billie went 2 for 2 tonight, for example.
Well, it was great. I mean, tonight was one of the biggest crowds in the history of ROH. Tonight was one of ROH's biggest crowds ever, not only one of the biggest supercards ever, but one of the biggest crowds and one of the biggest gates in the 22-year history of ROH, which is pretty awesome. In fact, the majority of the top 10 gates in ROH history and the biggest crowds have come since I took over 2 years ago. So in these last 2 out of the 22-year history, we've really done a lot, and it was very cool to be able to come back here to Philadelphia, very fitting, to celebrate that here at Supercard with a lot of great moments and great memories. Great to be here with the great champions and to be here with all of you, and it made sense for a lot of reasons. And also, I think it was a memorable night, and the Philadelphia wrestling fans are some of the most loyal, some of the most hardcore fans. When ROH started, they serviced a very hungry wrestling fan base, and it's very cool to be here in Philadelphia back with ROH and having some of these great moments tonight. And what a great way to end the show with Mark Briscoe crowned the Ring of Honor world champion for the first time ever, 11 years to the day after his brother won it for the first time.
Brandon. Hey, Tony. Brandon Thurston, WrestleNomics. With the releases that just happened, you said it was for budget reasons, right? So, and that's the first time there's been releases for budget reasons, and in the past there's been contracts that have expired, but you've talked about loyalty and wanting to keep people on until their contracts expire. And there's been some exceptional cases otherwise, but what is that? Does that represent a policy change for you? And if so, can you tell us what led to that?
Well, it's a great question. I think that this year I have been very active, not only in the free agent market, but in the production budget. You know, there are things tonight, like, for example, on one song alone, I spent like, you know, a year's pay for most pro wrestlers in this business. And the budget with not only free agency, but production is very high. And also, we're going into a contract year, and I plan to continue being very active, not only in free agency, but in the production of the show and producing great content. And going into this year, I have to look at where we're at, and I'd spent more than I had planned going into this year. So I really love our roster and where we're at. I am very supportive of everybody we have here and everybody that's ever worked here. I think I really appreciate everything they did when they were here. And this particular group, it was not an easy set of choices to make. And in particular with this group of wrestlers we just released, I would be happy to take any of them back under the right circumstance. I have no bridge burned with any of them. And like I said, even with the boys, I disagree with the point on travel, and that in the history of ROH and working with us, that there hadn't been a couple times where they didn't make it and maybe change stuff. But on the other hand, I really like both of them. And you know, whether we agree or not about that point of contention, I think it's regardless. I think that they were great. They were a great part of Dalton's act. I like both the dates. I like everybody we released in this batch recently, and I have wishing nothing but the best for any of them. And you know, I think for us this year, it's a really important year, and I'm really looking forward going into media rights here to, like I said, being very aggressive and putting our best foot forward, doing the best wrestling we can. And I'm thinking and have good thoughts and wishing the best, and very open-minded about everybody we just released. But also, I expect that there will be people that will want to come to AEW. I think really AEW and ROH were doing great wrestling, but also this is a great place to work. And I believe that everybody that has worked here, that was in that group, that are not with us, I have nothing but the best wishes for any of them. And they were all different circumstances, all different people. People are all different, and these are human beings, and I have a lot of respect for all of them. And like I said, they're all different circumstances, but for the company at this time, I thought it made sense. Thanks, Brent.
All right, we'll do two more and we'll call it a night.
Sure.
Hi, Xenia from Lexy. Congratulations on the great show. At the start of the new era of Ring of Honor, we had the Universal tapings, and now, as far as I understand, ROH mostly travels with Collision. Are there any plans of doing separate tapings with ROH, or designating some type of a home arena, or are we with Collision?
Well, it's also, that's a budgetary thing, you know, it's a difference of hundreds of thousands and annually millions of dollars in taping costs. So it's several $1 million. So, you know, when you're looking at the budget, that's a good place to look. I would rather protect as many people as possible when I'm looking at the budget. That's millions of dollars that we were able to put into the roster we have now and the people here and the production. And I love those tapings. I love doing that at Universal. But it is very cost effective to tape together. And there are a lot of positives carrying the crew together, because there are people able to come and work on TNT and get the experience. Some people have floated back and forth at times. But definitely, I mean, it's a, you know, talking about WrestleNomics and things like that, it is a difference of, you know, over the course of the year, it's millions of dollars. So that's part of the thinking. And we built a great model with the streaming on WatchROH.com. The current subscribers this year has been the highest in the history of Ring of Honor. And so we've been able to do great things with the promotion and also trying to do it cost effectively. And I think we've been able to have these shows, these big specials with Supercard of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, and Final Battle as standalone shows with great crowds. And then I love the Universal tapings. At some point, I would love to get back to that if the finances make sense. But I definitely think it's a really, really logical thing the way we've been doing it too, and it's made a lot of sense for us. Thank you.
Tony, final question back here. J.O. Segarra again, Reservoirs Def Jam Recordings. Just curious, just a two-part question. One, you just announced a couple of days ago the AEW game with Jamie Hayter. Just kind of curious on any updates. One, and then two, with the season packs and kind of what you're doing, just curious if we're going to see Ring of Honor packs or Stardom packs or New Japan packs that kind of continue to evolve the game and just kind of maybe help elevate the status of where you're trying to grow with the whole entire campaign, what you're doing.
Thank you. It's a great question. Well, we've had some great additions to the game, and they're going to continue adding. You asked about Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter's been out with an injury. We've really missed her. Of course, AEW made our presence felt last year in London with the most tickets sold for any pro wrestling event in the history of the sport. We sold 81,035 tickets, and I would have loved if Jamie Hayter could have been there and been part of the show. And we had some great stars, a great star like Bryan Danielson, and also some great stars from the UK like Pac, and of course Jamie Hayter, the former AEW Women's World Champion. I would love to get her back, and hopefully she will be healthy and back in the ring soon. We are wishing Jamie Hayter the best. I'm a big fan, and I would love to have her back in the ring. And then for AEW Fight Forever, still looking to add great things into the game through the DLC content. Added some great names recently, like you said, and we'll definitely continue adding different names. It's obviously time-consuming and costly, the development for these things, but it's been a great learning experience for AEW, and also I think we've been able to do some really exciting things, build baseline code and build experiences that'll be really important for our company. And AEW Fight Forever, definitely still committed to putting out great content for that going forward. And it's only the beginning of our first console game, and we're going to be around for a long time, and it's been a great experience. Thank you for asking. I know, by the way, that a lot of you travel in for this. Is there anybody that has not gotten to ask a question or came in or traveled? Because I really appreciate you all coming. So if there's anybody that didn't get asked anything or asked, thank you. Okay, great. Well, it's been really pleasant. Really appreciate all of you coming and covering AEW and Ring of Honor. Hopefully we'll see some of you in person or catch up with you on the all media call coming up in just a few weeks for AEW Dynasty. That's going to be a great show. I thought tonight was really exciting, and I really appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for being here. Wishing you the best and safe travels for those of you who came in for the show. God bless you and take care. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.